Hello, everyone. Welcome to week number 4. Congratulations on hitting almost the halfway mark of this course. Um, I want to start off this video by apologizing to you. This past couple of days, I've had internet problems that has made grading and getting back to people a little bit more challenging than I wanted it to be, and I'm hoping I've corrected it, but just an apology to you on not providing the feedback at a sooner or quicker time frame than what I have been able to provide for you. So I'm working on that one. So let's jump into week number 4 and what we're looking at. Week number 4 is about step 2, the plan. We're going to be, we talked about it during our live session and the pre-conference with your volunteer teacher and going through that process to be able to now write up for step 2 in the plan, comparing your write up to rubric 3.2 and making sure that you've really given a good picture of the context of the classroom, context of the lesson. So that's really what week number 4 is about, is getting ready to submit your strong, pretty right-on draft for step 2. With that being said, you're also going to be looking at the classroom observation. We talked a little bit about that in the live session, but we'll get a little bit more in it here, and then making sure that we understand the protocol. So what's the reading expectation for the week? It really is continuing with Coaching with a Focus. You've most probably already read this, but just a reminder of looking at pages 8 and 9 right now. That observation protocol for the CSTPs, making sure that you really do understand that. If you haven't had that pre-conference, it's a tool you definitely need. If you did have it, because we met and talked about it in week 3 in our live session last Thursday, you know about it, but this tool is here. If you haven't checked up on it, a tool that you definitely want to use. And then Stages Handbook for Mentoring and Coaching and Education. You're going to continue to look at chapters 3 and 4, making sure that you understand that tool, but also gives you background and reference if you need to include that as a part of this step. Some of you did a great job of using it in your step 1 of the investigating, giving reference to why you think certain aspects should be done certain ways in the coaching and mentoring experience. So with that, an encouragement to you, the Christian message this week is a prayer like Hannah's. If you have the moments, give that time with God, just take on the devotion, thinking about prayer, just encouragement to you. So let's look at what's expected of this week. Discussion board wise, it's really the discussion board task this week. It is about step 2. You will, by Thursday night, upload onto the discussion board your assignment number 4, step 2 plan document, the best draft that you can provide by Thursday night. Then you will go back and from the discussion board, grab your 2 peers from your group, and you will then use the peer checklist to evaluate your peers' work between Friday and Saturday, knowing Saturday night at 11:59 p.m. you're submitting that checklist back to your peer with feedback on things that they could work on their assignment number 4. Then you have that one day to reflect from what your peers shared, maybe other work that you had been doing on your plan, your step 2 of the plan. Write up, get that all completed, and then submit it by Sunday night at 11:59 so that way I can review it as well. Thank you to those that were able to keep that time frame for step 1, but I just really want to encourage you all. I know it's a quick turnaround, but that feedback from a peer is sometimes really beneficial. Sometimes it is the reminder from a peer saying, hey, some of this grammar isn't right in the components that I'm seeing. Spelling is a little bit off, or need a little bit more context of what you're trying to reference here. So just know that that peer review is an important piece there. Now, with that being said, please remember that your discussion board is graded on the peer review grading rubric. It's available, it's there for you to see. Each peer review is out of a total of 5 points, and I just use this rubric to be able to assign those points. So if you're late, please no points are deducted for that, or you're just not giving a developed peer review, your points will go down from there as well. So to look into step number 2, the plan, I'm just going to pull up the document here. It's a written narrative of the classroom context, lesson, and the observation template. So we've talked about it in week number 3, but here's where you're going to give the narrative to it, answering again the topic of the lesson, learning and instructional goals, student prior knowledge, what was taught in that prior lesson. So that all again comes from your pre-conference with your teacher. I'm not going to go through all these pieces, but I just want you to know this is where you're going to give that narrative. Again, you're not going to give a full write-up to that pre-conference, but you're going to write those key pieces of information here, making sure it's clear, concise, but that conciseness still needs to make sure the reader or the evaluator is going to understand. I know for me in your step 1s, a couple of you had to say, not clear on this one. So just really think that way. If a reader is reading this, they're going to understand what the focus of that lesson is. Who is it that they're trying to address in the lesson? What are they expecting for the outcomes of the lesson? All those components in the plan section of this. With that being said, you also have another part of step 2, which is the annotated video clips. Now, you're not going to be submitting anything this week to me or to your peers about the video clips, but I just wanted to address another tool that's there. Again, each video clip is 4 minutes long, but you will want to annotate in those video clips. That is the requirement. You're going to be identifying these 4 titles, that volunteer teacher self-assessment. Again, that's not a form that they're filling out. That comes from the post-conference. This is just their assessment of why they need to focus on the CSTP that they're selecting, what they see of themselves. That lesson plan review, the selection, and then the coaching observation process. Really explaining to that volunteer teacher what's going to go on. Now with that, you're going to notice that you can break this apart as you're watching the video and recording your timestamp and what title and why you're selecting that component to represent here, right here, this annotation represents this, and that's why I'm giving it this title. It's a tool for you. It'll help you when you get to your final submission. With Cal APA, it is something that you don't want to save till last minute. So just another tool that you can be looking at and using as well. With that, for the week, we've hit and addressed everything. I did want to talk about, somebody had asked in the live session about the consent forms for videoing students. And if your district doesn't have that document available to you, or the school doesn't have that document, there is a consent form that is on the Cal APA website. Just want to show you, this is under Cal APA assessment materials. You're just going to scroll towards the bottom of this where you'll see sample video consent forms if not provided by school or district, and hey, sample parent guardian form PDF Word version, just like there's one for the volunteer teacher as well. I'll make sure this link is in an announcement as well, so you can click there. But I just wanted to see that's where that tool or material is. With that being said, I hope that it is a great week for you, that you're starting to find balance in your professional lives as you're working in classrooms at the district level, all of that on top of meeting the needs of this class. But if you need any support in any way, shape, or form, please don't hesitate to email, text, or call. The best is giving me a text or giving me a phone call, so that way I know I can address it as quickly as possible. And if my internet still continues to give me hassles, or I know I'll get it off my phone. So I hope it's a great week. God bless.